Yeah, it started back in the early 90s, very small scale, limited amount of bins, collecting just a few beverage containers. It grew in the early 2000s, with program focus and awareness on the amount of waste that we were generating just based on the operations. And we've continued to evolve just as the scope and scale of our impacts in the community has transformed, and our notion around opportunities and services that we can use to really help reduce our impact have become available to us. Yeah, Jeremy Webb. I am an environmental program manager here in the Port of Seattle's aviation division within the Environment and Sustainability Department. I manage the airport's waste reduction and recycling programs, environmental data management systems, and some other components of our sustainability outreach. I've been here for over 20 years now, and it's been an impressive time to watch the growth of the airport. So the food donation program began, I believe, in 2006. And we established a partnership with the local food bank whereby they send volunteers to come pick up donations from our airport concessionaires about 3 or 5 times a week. Our concessionaires have high expectations and standards for quality product, and so they only can keep some of their product on the shelves for a day or 2 or several days depending on the quantity and the type. And the materials are good. They're still edible, they're still nutritious, wholesome foods, and by separating those out into a consistent donation room with refrigerators, we can then send those back into the community around the surrounding airport areas. It's a program that's donated roughly 700 meals a week over the last year. It's been consistently running, like I said, since 2006, so we're really happy with it, and it's kind of one of our flagship programs of the recycling.
Most of the food we get is from grocery stores that will be fruits and vegetables or meat or things like that people would take home and prepare. So it's nice to have food that's already prepared and ready to go. This helps our homeless folks that stop by that don't have places to prepare food, and also helps parents who might need something for lunch at work. At the airport, when sandwiches have been out for a day and they are going to have to dispose of them, they bring them to a centralized cooler, and then we go and pick them up 3 or 4 times a week and bring them back to the food bank. And so typically we get sandwiches and some wraps and cheese and meat trays and things like that, maybe some yogurt and some pastry, and then we can pass them out to folks in need. Well, the airport had hired a consultant because they wanted to cut down on their garbage bill, I think. And so they looked in their garbage, and the first thing they saw was lots of paper and recyclables, and so they started recycling. And then they looked in the garbage can again, and they saw lots and lots of coffee grounds. And then they started composting coffee grounds. Then when they looked in again, they saw food. They saw sandwiches and things in little plastic containers that could be hopefully given out to folks. And so that's where we came in. We started sending drivers over, and they started collecting those in bins, and that's how our partnership started.
So we have several goals specifically around waste. We have a goal around our municipal waste, and that's split up into 2 segments. So we strive to divert 60% of terminal waste from landfill, and that's all the waste that we generate within the terminal. So that includes things like airport dining and retail concessions, public spaces, back of house areas as well. And then we have another goal around our airfield waste. So that's all the deplaned waste that comes off the airfield, and that's 15%. And that's relatively small because we have limited control and influence over what the airlines actually do with that material. Our third goal is around construction waste, and that's regarding capital projects and the waste that we collect from construction contracts. And our goal is 90% diversion. We tend to be really close to that consistently just because it's really heavy material that has readily available recycling options. So we're really happy with what those goals are and really pushing us in the right direction to be sustainable. We adopt a bunch of different strategies to try to reach that goal. The first one is really sort of the first layer of defense, right? So signage. We try to be color-coded, consistent, use symbols, brief text, all things that we've found to be really effective at getting passengers with a limited attention span and other priorities to really just briefly focus in those few seconds they have while staring at the bin to separate their things in the right place. We also have a website dedicated for both our tenants and for our passengers that provides a whole range of supportive guides for recycling. It's all in multiple languages. We also have videos as well that provide instruction on waste sorting. Plus, we're always out in front of our tenants, attending quarterly meetings of our concessionaires, circling with airlines during our station manager meetings, doing face-to-face trainings, routine compliance inspections. So we have a whole range of different ways that we connect with folks and educate them about our recycling programs.
We're making about 2,500 visits a month to our food bank. Our numbers have increased more than 125% this year over last year. So there's a real big need, and the more food we get, the better off it is for folks in our community that have more food to eat.
So I think for us, success is measured by the impacts that we have on diverting waste. Looking at the different streams and what our target priority areas are, whether it's preventing food waste, reducing construction waste, looking at recovering materials, or even reducing single-use plastics. Another measure of success too is really understanding the feedback we get from customers on tenants on how they interact with the program, just to see if it's consistent in terms of how it provides support, resources, training, other things that make them feel successful in the program.